Good morning, students. In paper Plant Pathology for BSc Final, our topic is plant diseases and their control. You have studied all about the plant diseases in your syllabus, and now we are discussing about their control. The prime object of plant disease control is to prevent qualitative and economic losses of crops due to attack of pathogens and to increase the economic value of the crop. In general, the control measures are aimed at saving the population rather than a few individual plants. The use of plant diseases control measures is only desirable when the cost incurred on their measures is less than the economic value of the crop. In nature, various types of pathogens are present together, and as such their complete eradication is impossible. Thus, disease control programs should be arranged in such a way that more than one disease can be controlled in one operation. For the success of disease control program, it is also essential that such programs should be operated in a large area instead of small areas, so that the inoculum of the disease from the whole area can be eliminated, जिससे कि हम उस पूरे एरिया का डिसीज़ का या पैथोजन को हम रिमूव कर सकें. Various methods adopted for the control of plant disease are there and are categorized into three measures: prophylactic measures, curative measures, and biological measures. Prophylactic measures. The prophylactic measures are preventive and include protection of the host from the exposure to the pathogen, from the infection, or from environmental factors favorable to disease development. What you understand? The prophylactic measures are preventive and include protection of the host from the exposure of the pathogen and from infection or from environmental factors which are favorable to disease development. Some important prophylactic measures in operation are given there. Number 1, क्वारंटाइन. आजकल क्वारंटाइन चल रहा है कोरोना की वजह से, तो दिस इज़ अ important method to prevent the disease or to spread the disease. Quarantine. Second one is eradication of alternate host. Third one is crop rotation. Fourth one is sanitation. Fifth one is environmental manipulation. Sixth one is chemical prophylaxis. So these are the different methods for prophylactic measures. In quarantine is a legal restriction at the national or international level on the trade of propagating materials like seed, tubers, and roots, and this is done to prevent spread of the disease. आप सभी बहुत अच्छे से समझ गए हैं क्वारंटाइन का मतलब. डिसीज़ का स्प्रेडिंग को रोकने के लिए क्वारंटाइन करते हैं. बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट मेथड है डिसीज़ स्प्रेडिंग का, कंट्रोल ऑफ डिसीज़ स्प्रेड. The first Quarantine Act was enforced in 1912 in USA. And India Destructive Insects and Pest Act, DIP Act जिसको बोलते हैं, was passed by the government in 1914 and it has been amended from time to time. DIP Act allows import of propagating materials, seeds and tubers from other countries only when it is accompanied by a certificate from the Ministry of Agriculture of the exporting country stating that the propagating material is pathogen free. After testing और after certification हम लोग import करते हैं seeds या tubers को. Thus quarantine regulates entry of the plant material in a very effective way. In India, there are 16 quarantine centers at present. It is all about in plants. 2 on land roots, 6 on air roots and 8 on sea roots. There are 16 quarantine centers. 2 for land roots, 6 for air roots and 8 for sea roots. However, several diseases had been introduced in India even after the DIP Act. They include leaf rust of coffee, late blight of potato, wall disease of potato. They are different species, different diseases which are included after the DIP Act. Now, eradication of alternate host. आपने पढ़ा है फर्स्ट ईयर में पक्सीनिया ग्रामिनेस, उसमें हम अल्टरनेट होस्ट यूज़ करते हैं. वीट को पक्सीनिया ग्रामिनेस इन्फेक्ट करता था, उसके बाद हम बारबेरी प्लांट को क्रॉप करते थे, वहाँ पे सोइंग करते थे उसकी, जिससे डिसीज़ कंट्रोल हो. द अल्टरनेट होस्ट यूजुअली प्रोवाइड्स shelter to the pathogen during unfavorable periods. Thus, eradication of collateral host is a good measure for the control of heterogeneous pathogen. Example, barberry plant eradication in temperate countries help the control of the black stem rust of the wheat, which is caused by Puccinia graminis, I have told you. And similarly, yellow vein mosaic of the bhindi persists on several wind holes in nature, and the systematic removal of these hosts help in control of the disease. I think you understand properly what is quarantine and what is eradication of the alternate host. Now comes to crop rotation. Growing a particular crop or similar crop in the same field for several years continuously increase the soil-borne pathogen in the field, and the disease appears with increasing severity after every year. Ultimately, the soil becomes too heavily infested with the pathogen, and that it can no longer support the growth of the crop. Crop rotation help in the control of such soil-borne diseases. Rotation of various crop reduces survival rate of the pathogen in the absence of the suitable host. Some important diseases that can be controlled by crop rotations are the wilt of अरहर, खजानस खजान pulses में, wilt of linseed, red rot of sugarcane, wheat burn disease, smut of bajra, rice burnt, and root rot of vegetable crops. नेक्स्ट वन इज सैनिटाइजेशन. ये भी आप बहुत अच्छे से समझ रहे हैं कोरोना पीरियड में सैनिटाइजेशन. व्हाट इज सैनिटाइजेशन? सैनिटाइजेशन इज द सिंपलेस्ट मेथड ऑफ द डिसीज कंट्रोल. We are using this method nowadays, and it reduces the amount of inoculum to which the host population is exposed. Several types of pathogens are present in underground and decaying part of the plant and in the soil, which acts as inoculums of the disease caused by them. Hence, elimination of the diseased plant from the field is necessary. Several infectious diseases like powdery mildew of the wheat and peas, downy mildew of maize and peas, wilt of cotton can be controlled successfully by such measures. In greenhouses, soil-borne disease can be controlled by the use of sterilized soil. Next, environmental manipulation. What is environmental manipulation? Environmental manipulation includes such cultural practices which discourage the pathogen development. Good soil drainage, proper aeration and irrigation, proper fertilization and soil amendments, proper spacing of the plant, proper method and depth of the sowing, and the weed control are the some important factors that discourage the growth of the pathogen. Only disease-free certified seeds should be sown to achieve the proper yield or to achieve our purpose. Next one is chemical prophylaxis. It is the application of chemical to plants for control of the pathogen. Chemical used in plant protections are known as pesticides, and most include fungicides, bactericides, insecticides, nematicides, and herbicides. Most of the pesticides are used to control diseases of the foliages and other above ground parts of the plant, but some are used to disinfect and protect seeds, tubers, and bulbs from the infection. There are different group of chemicals which are used as fungicides, and a fungicide may be defined as a substance which kill fungi or prevent the development of the fungal diseases without causing any damage to the host plant. There are two categories of fungicides: chemical fungicide and residual fungicide. Chemical, you know better. These fungicides act as by direct contact with the pathogen fungus before or after the infection, and the residual fungicides are used before the infection of the pathogenic fungus. Hence, they form a protective covering over the surface of the plant even before infection. Fungicides are used in various ways, and the most applied as sprays or dust on the standing crops. For seed-borne pathogens, fungicides are applied to the seeds before they are sown. The powdery fungicide is either thoroughly mixed with seeds before they are bagged or stored, or seeds are soaked for a definite time in the fungicide solution. Root pathogens are controlled by the soil application of fungicides. And on the basis of chemical natures, fungicides can be divided in different two measures: inorganic compounds and the organic compounds. There are different fungicides. इनऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स भी हैं और ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स भी हैं. वो डिपेंड करता है डिसीज़ पर, कौन सा डिसीज़ के लिए कौन सा फंजिसाइड हम यूज़ करेंगे. Then we comes to curative methods. Curative methods, what is curative methods? Besides prophylactic measures, sometimes infected plant are individually cured by the treatment. Such methods are known as curative or therapeutic methods. These methods or these measures are used after the appearance of the disease symptom. जो हम आजकल कर रहे हैं, जैसे डिसीज सिम्टम आता है कोरोना पीरियड में, तो हमें डिफरेंट फर्स्ट एड लेनी होती है जैसे लाइक स्टीम, हॉट वाटर और वार्म वाटर, and the kara, we use kara, we are using haldi, doodh, milk. So these are in curative measures. For the protection of healthy plants, eradication of the diseased plants is necessary. The curative methods are therefore effective in controlling spread of the disease caused by the inoculum present in seeds or tubers. Besides, these measures are also effective against smut and blight diseases. And the disease can be cured by the physical or chemical therapies. The chemical therapy includes the surgery, temperature modifications, radiation, and the moisture modifications. In chemotherapy, plant diseases are controlled by certain chemical compounds which reduce the effect of pathogen after it has entered the host plant. The chemotherapeutic are used directly on the surface lesions or as the solution to be absorbed through the roots. And now comes to biological methods. The biological methods for disease control can be divided into three categories: breeding resistant varieties, hyperparasitism, and control through tap crops or antagonistic plants. We can use breeding resistant varieties to control the plant disease. And hyperparasitism is to control the pathogenic microbes with the help of the other microbes with parasitic or analogies the pathogen. Bacteriophage, mycophages, Nematophages, fungi are some common example of the hyperparasitism, and several pathogenic fungi like Pythium, Fusarium are infested by other fungi present in the soil. Addition of soil amendments favor growth of the hyperparasites and the mycoparasites and the analogues. Now come to control through tap crops or analogistic plants. There are several plants which are infested by fungi or nematodes, but after infestation, the host secretes certain substances which are inhibitory to the growth of these pathogens. Such hosts are known as trap crops. For example, population of the Heterodora nematodes can be reduced in the soil by Solanum nigrum. The population of several pathogenic microorganisms can be reduced in this way by rotation of the tap crops. This is all about the plant diseases and their control. I think you have understand all these methods or measures for controlling the diseases, and the main or important, the most important method is the quarantine. And we should protect ourselves from the disease corona by stay home. Okay.